Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and the Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ, ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, broke them to all the Akima out there that's pushing this truth and sincerity, while Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, broke them to all the elders out there who labor in this truth, okay? This is another 12 tribes breakdown. Okay, the last breakdown I did was the tribe of Gad and tribe of Reuben. Okay, which are of the northern kingdom. And if anybody doesn't know, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true biblical Israelites of the Bible. Okay, your identity has been hidden from you. Okay, and you have false claimers that's saying that they are the real Jews or that they are the real Israelites. But you so-called blacks and Hispanics who doesn't know your history, you're the true Israelites of the Bible, okay? And the Bible prophesied about it. And this is the 12 tribes chart, okay? You got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is the house of Judah, which is the southern kingdom. And then you got Simeon on down, which is the northern kingdom, okay? You so-called Hispanic tribes, all right? But go to Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever." Okay, so the Most High said that we were going to discontinue from our heritage that He gave to us, man. All right, because when you so-called Hispanic tribes, you Northern Kingdom tribes came over here to the Americas, y'all were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities, and then y'all started going off. Okay, y'all started going off into idolatry and all that stuff, and the Most High brought over, the Spaniards to conquer you, man. All right. So anyway, I'm about to dive into this breakdown. All right. So this is Genesis 49, and I'm gonna start at the top. It says, "And Jacob, who's Jacob? Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel." Okay. "And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days." Okay, so in the last days, and we're currently in the last days. All right, so Genesis 49:13. "Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Now, Zebulon, you were the Mayans, the ancient Mayans, okay? And when you go into the word haven, it says seashore, coast, or shore. And then when you go into the word ships, it says ships, men of ships, seamen. All right, and when you hear that, what's that? That's the Panama. That's the Panama. That's the Panama Canal. You see, the sea, the seashore, and the ships. So it says that Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of ships. So here you are. So here you are right now at the Panama Canal. Cause Zebulon, you ancient Mayans, here you are right here, Guatemala to Panama. So you so-called Panamanians are are Israelites, okay? And uh Salakia. Here you go, right here, ancient Mayans, and you built pyramids. You see, and the Israelites, that's in your DNA to build pyramids. Here was the Mayans before Christopher Columbus came over here. But yeah, it's in your DNA to build temples, because the Israelites did that back in Egypt. See, ancient Mayans, and they don't look as yellow as they do now, or as light. You see, there are different shades. There are different shades of brown. So for all you that say, they're too light, they're too light to be our brothers and sisters. Well, before the so-called conquistadors came over here, they were lighter than that. Okay, and when you go into other pictures, you will see that the Northern Kingdom tribes, they all look alike. So that's how you know that they're all related. Salakia, trying to get to these pictures real fast. Oh, okay. And this book is called The American Holocaust. Okay, you see? A young Seri Indian woman of southwest Texas or northern Mexico. So she's probably a Aztec, or she could be a Mayan. Okay? See? They look like the Indians. North American Indians, Seminole Indians. They all look alike. You see? And they all went through the same things that we so-called blacks, so-called Negroes went through. Because there's curses in the Bible, all right, that the so-called Latin tribes went through. So I'm gonna read it again. It says, Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Okay, and when you do your history of the Panama Canal, Zebulon, the tribe was catching hell down there, man. Okay, the US was going down there and killing killing them, man. Okay, Panamanians, they were getting bombed, they were getting shot up and all that, man. Okay, they were going through the curses, man. Okay, so yeah, that's talking about the Panama Canal. Moving on to Issachar. It says, Issachar is a strong ass counting down between two burdens. And two burdens is the geographic location. Count it down between two burdens, and that is North and South America is between Central America when you look at it on a map. Okay, and also, oh, verse 15, and he saw that rest was good in the land, that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became servant unto tribute. Let me go back to the chart, because Mexicans is who you are. The tribe of Issachar, Mexicans, which are the Aztecs, the ancient Aztecs. And you too also built pyramids. Salakia. All right, here you go. Ancient Aztecs. That look like the garments that brothers wear outside on the highways and the byways. You see that? That's the ancient Aztec clothing. Look at the Aztecs. See, it says art of the Maya, Aztec, and Inca, and they all look alike, man. They all look alike. Cause why? Because we're all brothers. You see, and they also build pyramids. See, the original black civilization of Mesoamerica. You see that? And they also look like Mayans, letting you know that they are they are related as well, man. You see? So they are Israelites, okay? And their dressing styles is similar to the Native Americans. So I'm gonna read it again. Genesis 49 verse 15. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became servant unto tribute. Now, Issachar, is this thing called siesta, where they work real early, and then they rest, like at 3 o'clock, I think, or 12, and then they rest for like an hour. Okay, they won't do no work. They won't do no work for an hour. That's what it means by when it says, and he saw that, the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and it's real pleasant down there. And bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Now, when you go into Issachar, the name means he is hired. The Mexicans are known for working, man. Okay, and I see that, at my job. All right, they can work. Okay. Um, I'm gonna just break down. I'm going to break down the tribes, and then go into the curses and the rest of that. So this Genesis 49 and 20. It says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Now when you go into the word bread, lakham, in the Hebrew, it says bread, food, grain, bread, fruit, shalakia, bread, corn, or food in general. Brazil and Colombia is known for its food, man. Okay, and I'm not making that up either. I'm about to get the proof. Okay, we're going to the word fat. Okay, the rich, fat, rich of food, and that's true. Brazil, Colombia, they are rich in food, man. When you go into the word dainties, dainty, food, delight. And also, you Asherites, your Colombia to Uruguay, also Brazil. But yeah, let me all right, so I typed in countries rich in food, the 4 countries that produce the most food. Okay, I got China number 1, India 2, the third is the US, and 4 Brazil. Okay, you see, the Brazilian economy is historically centered on agriculture, particularly sugarcane, dating back to its time as a European colony. 31% of Brazil is used as cropland, largely largely to produce coffee, sugarcane, soybeans, and corn. You see, corn. Didn't didn't we see corn and bread? You see, bread, corn. Brazil is also a major producer of oranges, pineapples, papaya, and coconuts. Thanks to its warm, fruit-friendly climate, the country ranks second behind the U.S. in total beef output. Okay, you see, so Asher, that's the blessing that Jacob gave Asher, man. Okay, they have rich foods down there, man. Okay, and these are all rich foods. All right, and also um I looked at the corn production in Brazil. It says following soybeans, corn is the second largest crop in the country with a 20% share of planted area on 15.8 million um hectares. Corn accounted for 31% of Brazil's non per annum crop production, or 85 million metric tons. Okay, you see? So Brazil is high in corn production as well. And I think I had one more. Um, okay, con. This is going into Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. Deuteronomy 33, verse 24. And of Asher, he said, let Asher be blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Because, well, I'm just bring out what I searched. Slock it for all the clicking too. All right. So it says um um Petrobras says the Tupi field of Brazil's southeastern Atlantic coast has between 5 billion and 8 billion barrels, equivalent to 40% of all the oil ever discovered in Brazil's total oil reserves currently rank 17th in the world, with 14.4 billion barrels of oil equivalent. You see, so Asher was also blessed with a lot of oil, man. Okay, proving you that the people of Brazil, Colombia, and Uruguay is the tribe of Asher, man. You see, and now to the last one. Simeon, I'm gonna do that with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But last one, Naphtali, which is the ancient Argentinians. Also, before I go into them, I'm going to show. Oh yeah, Salaki. That's not the last one. Ephraim is, but here goes some ancient tribes of the tribe of Naphtali, and they're of Argentina. You see how they're dark skinned. They wasn't always light, so light. They were dark as well. Okay, you see. It wasn't until Christopher Columbus and them came over came over to South America and started and they started mixing themselves among them. Same as same case how you would have lighter so-called Negroes, man. That's the same thing for our Latin tribe brothers. The same thing, no difference. The Bible says that we would be uh, we would have problems with each other, man. Let me bring that out real quick. This is Isaiah 11 verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim, which is the head tribe of the northern kingdom. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So Judah is vexing Ephraim, man. I'm going to the word vex. To show hostility toward, treat with enmity, harass. And that's what the Southern Kingdom does, man. I see it all the time, man. Oh, those people are not our people. Okay? A lot of Israelites that are so called in the truth, man, they always say that, man. They always say always say that the Latin tribe, sisters and our brothers, are not Israelites just because of how light they are. But you will have light skinned so called Negroes. Are they not our people? You see? And let me get the scripture real quick. This is Hosea 7 and 8. It says, Ephraim he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Exactly. So Ephraim hath mixed himself among the people, man. And I'm gonna show all the proof in the articles that I have. Ephraim hath mixed himself among the people. What that mean? Ephraim, the Ephraimites, the brothers and the sisters, man, they were having sex with different nations, man. Specifically the conquistadors, man. The conquistadors was taking a woman, raping them, and then the men, Jake, he will have sex with anybody, man. They were into mingling with them as well, man. All right. So Ephraim have mixed himself among the nation, and Ephraim is the top tribe. It's the top tribe of the northern kingdom. So next is the tribe of Napthali. It says, Napthali is a hind let loose, he giveth goodly words. It doesn't say much, but the hind let loose is talking about the gauchos, all right? That's what the hind let loose is talking about. The gauchos, okay? And when it says he giveth goodly words, means that the tribe of Naphtali is good people, goodly people, friendly and whatnot. All right. Let me exit those out so I won't have a lot of tabs open. All right. And this is Genesis 49 verse 22. It says, Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. Now Joseph had two sons Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh being the older son, but Jacob was Jacob blessed or gave the inheritance to Ephraim. Okay, when you see Joseph is mainly talking about the tribe of Ephraim, and to prove that, I'm gonna go to Numbers 1:32. It says, of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, by their generations after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Okay, so it says namely of the children of Ephraim. Okay, oh, I wanted to see what the word namely was, but all right, namely of the children of Ephraim. And Revelation, 7th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. See, it said of the tribe of Manasseh up there, but then it says of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. And you don't see the tribe of Ephraim anywhere. So this is what it's talk. So the tribe of Joseph is talking about the tribe of Ephraim. All right. So when you see the tribe of Joseph is mainly talking about Ephraim, but the tribe of Manasseh is the so-called Cubans. All right, that's the so-called Cubans. Now I'm going to go back to Genesis 49. So it says Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well whose branches run over the wall. So the well is talking about the water because you get water from a well, right? Down there in Puerto Rico, there's a lot of water down there, all right, whose branches run over the wall. Now the branches running over the wall stands for Ephraim coming over here to have a better life, living that good America life. But it you come over here to America, you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're still going to be in the same predicament than you was in your other countries, maybe worse, man. All right, because hearing what my mom said or my uncles, because they're from the islands as well. Okay, they said Jamaica was better than up here, man. Okay, they don't have GMO foods and all that stuff, man. Verse 23, the archers have surely grieved him, and the archers is talking about the so-called white man Esau, okay, because the Puerto Ricans were the so-called Taino Indians, okay, and I have some history on them too. The archers have surely grieved him and shot at him and hated him, okay, because the so-called white men hated him, man. They hated the so-called Taino Indians, man. They calling them savages and all that stuff. Okay. Verse 24. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Now Esau wanted that gold and that land. All right, over there in Puerto Rico. All right, so I just went through all that, all the tribes. I'm gonna go through it again. So Zebulon, your so-called Guatemala to Panama, and that's the Panama Canal. All right. Ephraim, Puerto Ricans, Taino Indians. Manasseh, you're the Cubans. Napthali, you're the Argentinians. Asher, Colombians, and Issachar, you're the so-called Mexicans. And this is Asher right here as well. The ancient Incas, and you see how they dress. They dress just like their brothers, the Mayans and the Aztecs. There's no difference. Oh, see, and you have the and you have connections between ancient Egypt and the Incas. What the hell? And the Incas, man, because the Israelites built pyramids as well. See, you got the pyramids, the Mayans, Aztecs. Let me get that in Genesis. Salakia. Exodus. It's Exodus 1 verse 11. Therefore they did set Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. And the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick. How did they build the pyramids? With brick. And in all manner of service in the field, all their service where they made them serve was with rigor. And then we can go to First Maccabees, the 13th chapter, and let's see, I want to go right to the point. All right, verse 28. The Maccabees, which were Israelites. Verse 28. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren. Who is that? Thomas? Simon, okay? Let me start at verse 27. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the sight, with hewn stone behind and before. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren. So building pyramids is in the Israelites' blood, man. All right, that's in our blood to do. Build pyramids, just like how the ancient Aztecs and the Mayans and the Incas did. Okay, and this is their and this is how they dressed as well. You would think that's fringes, at the bottom. Right here as well. Oh, Slaki, that's ancient Greek. See? They all dressed and looked the same. Okay? You got the pyramids going on. And here goes some ancient Hebrew artifacts and South America, man. See, this stone was discovered in a dry creek bed in New Mexico by early settlers in the region. And who was the early settlers? Um, the Cubans, Argentina and Chile, Colombia, Mexicans. Okay, that's all South. That's all South America. Okay, engraved on engraved on its flank in the entire Ten Commandments, written in ancient Hebrew script. You see, Hebrew scholars such as Cyrus Gordon of Brandeis University near Boston have vouched for its authenticity. Okay, so the white man said it. So uh you people will probably believe it now. In New Mexico, a stone was discovered, and on it there was a Hebrew inscription of the Ten Commandments. Some other reference material, such as the book They Came Before Columbus, identifies that there were already a Negroid people in the Americas, according to the accounts of some of the explorers with Columbus. All right, you see, they were called Negroes because all of the tribes are Negroes. They may not look Negroes due to the mixing, all right? And I just read in Hosea 7-8, Ephraim has mixed himself amongst the nations. Ephraim is a cake not turned. When you're cooking a pancake, right? One side one side will be brown, you know, and then the other side will be what? Yellow. So so the Latin tribes are all different colors, man. Okay, are all different colors. And I'm gonna go into this book. Is the Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, and I'm gonna go right to the point because because the tribes did know of because the tribes didn't know of each other, and this is talking about the Seminole Indians and the tribe of Joseph. Okay, I want to go straight to the point. I'm gonna start it right here. It says, waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared, bearing three men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing at the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand. Although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation, she then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema Yisrael Adonia Eloheinu Adonia Ehud, which is Deuteronomy 6-4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Which in the ancient Paleo Hebrew is Shammai, Yashar Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayinawa, Yahweh Ahad. Okay? That's how you say it in ancient Hebrew. Shammai, Yashar Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayinawa, Yahweh Ahad. Alright? Here meaning Shammai, Israel, Yashar Allah, Yahweh, meaning Lord, Allahayna, our God, you know, the Lord Yahweh, and one means or Ahad in the ancient Hebrew. It says they had recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism, which is not Judaism, all right? That was just a Bible scripture, okay? Deuteronomy 6-4. See, hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord. and and that's the tribe of Reuben right there that said that. A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue, ancestral tongue, according to Montezinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as it that of his three mysterious new companions. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben. See, so the Seminole Indians told them that they were of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph, the Ephraimites, Manasseh, lived on an island nearby. You see? So they all knew of each other. Why? Because they came over here together. Pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 14th, Shalaki, the 13th chapter, which I put in my last video. The 2nd Ezra 13 verse 40. It says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt." And nobody was living over here, that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And that's what they were doing. Okay, that's what they were doing. The Gadites, the Reubenites, they was wearing fringes. Pursuant to Deuteronomy 33, it says, Deuteronomy 33:18, "And of Zebulon he said, Rejoice, Zebulon, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents." What was that talking about? That's talking about the Mayans. That's talking about the Mayans and the Aztecs. The Aztecs, which were good at time, they used to call up the Mayans so they can celebrate the feast. Okay, righteous feast. All right. And in thy tents, because they didn't live too far from each other. That's they all lived in that same area, central and South America. All right, proving that they're all related, man. All right, we may look different now due to the mixing, but we're all brothers, man. All right, but we're all brothers and sisters. Now, touching on the Mayans and the Aztecs, I showed you how they both builded pyramids. Now if people don't know, the Mayans and the Aztecs, they worship the same God, okay, the same deity. The Mayans worship, I really can't say it, is Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go. The feather serpent. The deity known as the feather serpent, called Kuku Kuku no Kukulkan and Mayan dialects, and Quetzalcoatl and the Aztecs Nahuatl played an important role in the pantheon of both cultures. And this deity is who the world calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, all right? Despite the vivid specific imagery associated with his name, Kukulkan slash Quetzalcoatl could take many forms, including that of the winds god um Ihi Katal, a Akim Salakia, just bear with me, a black ant and a human warrior with a pale bearded face. According to Pantheon, both the Maya and Aztecs credited Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl with creating human mankind, teaching them how to farm, maize, and acting as a god of fertility, wind, water, Venus, and artistry. A gentle god, Quetzalcoatl only required the sacrifice of butterflies and other human animals, whereas the other Aztecs gods demanded human sacrifice, and that's what made the Mosai uh bring them conquistadors over here, man, because of the human sacrifices that they were doing. All right, but yeah, man, that's the ancient god or deity that they were worshiping, and that deity is who the world calls Jesus Christ. Shalakia, I was getting a call. Shalakia Akim. All right, but back to where I was at. Um, so we called we called it the feather. We called the god or deity the feather serpent. Now let's get that in the scriptures. Isaiah 61. It says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon the throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. And then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken from the tongues of the from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Who has the power to take away sins? Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And when we go into the word seraphim, what does it say? A serpent, fiery serpent. You see? So who's that serpent? Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, who the world calls Jesus Christ. No, I'm gonna get that scripture real fast because Yahweh Shai came and appeared to the northern kingdom, man, our brothers. I want to get the scripture real fast. All right, John 10 and 16. All right, so this is John 10 verse 16. And other sheep. No, I'm starting verse 15. As the Father knoweth me, matter of fact, I'm starting at 14. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am know of mine. Because of the time of Yahushua was mainly dealing with the southern kingdom. It was only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And we know that, and we all know that salvation, and we all know that salvation, that Yahushua was only dealing with Israel. Okay? And Matthew 15:24 is, Yahushua said, I'm not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's the whole entire house, man. Yahushua was only dealing with the Israelites. Now when Yahushua was on the earth, he was only dealing with Benjamin, Salaki, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, because the northern kingdom had already been left. They've been left and came over here to the so-called Americas. Now if this scripture isn't talking about the northern kingdom, that means that the so-called white men and every other nation can receive salvation, and we know that's contrary to the Bible, and we know that the Bible cannot contradict itself. All right. So it says, I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. You see? There shall be one fold and one shepherd. Now that one fold is talking about the whole house of Israel, and that one shepherd is talking about Yahweh Shai, because he said in verse 14 that I am the good shepherd. Okay? So that other fold can't be talking about white people or African people, or so on and so forth. This has to be talking about the northern kingdom, man. Okay? Because that's what it's talking about. The northern kingdom. So in the form of Quetzalcoatl, Yahweh Shai came. Okay? And you can do other research for yourself, that the Mayans and the Aztecs have a lot of things that they did. Okay? The same things, similar things. Okay? You see here that the Mayan civilization existed from 1800 BCE. So this was before. Yahweh Shai. They came over here before Yahweh Shai stepped foot on the earth. So that has to be talking about them. All right, and that possibly can't be talking about other nations. All right. But now I'm gonna get into basically the destruction of the northern kingdom. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me go into some more scriptures real fast. Let me go into Hosea 4:17. Okay. So like I said before, Ephraim is the head tribe. Is the top tribe of the northern kingdom. So basically, when you see Ephraim, that's talking about all the tribes of the northern kingdom. Okay, so it says Ephraim is joined unto idols, let him alone. And the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, all of them, they are joined unto idols. Okay. Let me get this. So this is the article I looked up. What are the largest religious groups in South America? The majority of the population of South America professes the Catholic faith. You see? The majority of them in South America are Catholics, man. And I see that all the time, because in high school, I went to Catholic school, and that was like 2 years ago. And basically, man, it was a bunch of Edomites. We used to have mass or whatever. We used to have mass sometimes, and And when it's time to go up for the Holy Communion, the so-called Holy Communion, when you eat the bread and the priest bless you, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, blah blah blah. You will have I would see a lot of Puerto Ricans, man. A lot of Puerto Ricans, Mexicans going up there, man. Okay, because they're heavy. Their family's heavy into the Catholicism, and I follow, and there's one girl I follow on Instagram. Man, she's always in church, man. Always in the Catholic Church, man. Doing Easter, all that stuff, man. Had the statues, all that, man. Okay, I actually did a video on that. Okay, let me just try to find it. Here it goes, right here.
Mexico. Hot, exotic, and religious.
See? Look at that. Look at that. Got the statue of Mary right there.
Catholicism being the dominant religion at nearly 90%.
Nearly 90%. Catholicism, nearly 90%. And Mexico, the Issacharites, which is the Northern Kingdom. So how is this not talking about them?
Protestants make up the majority of the remaining religious groups, along with some Jews, Muslims, and Buddhists. Mexico is the second largest Catholic country in the world, but at the same time,
Mexico is the second largest in the religion of Catholicism. The second largest. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that you do have Zebulon down there as well. Napthali. Okay, I'm pretty sure that the rest of the Northern Kingdom is down there too, man.
one of
Asher,
the most troubled. That's why many find comfort in the Catholic faith here.
You see, many find comfort in the Catholic faith, and look at her, man. See our sister, man, praying with that rosary around her hand.
Catholicism has impacted Mexico going back to when the Spanish first arrived in the Americas.
You see, when the Spanish first arrived, because Christopher Columbus was forcing them to convert, and if they didn't, what do you think would happen? They would die. And see, look, man, Caesar. You got Caesar Borgia right there.
In the areas of culture, society, and history. The Spanish brought Catholicism with them to the New World when they arrived as conquerors. Also, Catholic missionaries came to Mexico from Spain to convert the Indians to Christianity. This wasn't hard, though, because of the similarities between the religions. Catholicism shares elements of certain beliefs with native religions. Church leaders in the new colony were given broad political power and were major landowners. In 1917, though, a constitution was written which would strip the church of significant political...
That's the point, though, all right? That's the point. So the largest religious groups, man, majority of our brothers down there professes the Catholic faith, which is idolatry, man. All right, Ephraim is joined unto idols. Let him alone. You see, idolatry right there. All right. Now let me go to Hosea 7, because Hosea touches the Northern Kingdom. So this is Hosea 7:1. It says, "When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria, for they commit falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoileth without. And who's the troop, man? The conquistadors, man. Esau. They came in there, and they came to South America, and then they just start robbing them, man. All right. And what's the falsehood? Idolatry, man. Mainly the Aztecs and the Mayans, man, dealing with human sacrificing on the altars, man. Let's go to the next chapter. It's Hosea 8, because the human sacrifice is in the scriptures. It says, Hosea 8 and 11, because Ephraim have made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to sin. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings, and eat it. Yep, and they to eat it as well. But the Lord accepteth them not. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. And when it means they shall return to Egypt, they shall return to bondage, man. And that's why the Mosai sent those devils, sent them conquistadors down to South America, man, because of the sin, man. Okay, I definitely did have articles on that as well. And this is just more Hebrew artifacts found over there in South America. Okay, that's the Taino. That's the Taino Indians. All right, look at them. They look dark, but now they're of lighter complexion due to the mixing. And let me show these few Hebrew artifacts real fast. That's found in Central America. You see? See that? Undeniable proof. Undeniable proof. All right. But yeah, let me go into what I was gonna go into. All right, here we go. So it says how Europeans brought sickness to the New World, and this is gonna go hand in hand. It's gonna go cohesive with the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and as well as Leviticus 26. All right. So it says, in the Americas, the arrival of Europeans brought disease, war, and slavery to many indigenous peoples. Can some of the world's last isolated groups avoid those fates as they make contact in the 21st century? Okay, it says Columbus at Hispaniola, and Columbus is the one that renamed those ancient places to that name. So it says when the Taino, and this is talking about the tribe of Ephraim too, Taino Indians, the Puerto Ricans today, when the Taino gathered on the shores of San Salvador Island to welcome a small party of foreign sailors on October 12, 1492, they had little idea what lay in store. They laid down their weapons willingly and brought the foreign sailors Christopher Columbus and his crewmen tokens of friendship, parrots, bits of cotton thread, and other presents. Columbus later wrote that the Taino remained so much our friends that it was a marvel. A year later, Columbus built his first town on the nearby island of Hispaniola, where the Taino numbered at least 60,000 and possibly as many as 8 million, according to some estimates. But by 1548, the Taino population there had plummeted to less than 500, lacking immunity to the old world pathogens carried by the Spanish. Hispaniolas indigenous inhabitants fell victim to terrible plagues of smallpox, influenza, and other viruses. You see that? See, look at them, man. Look at what them devils brought to the Americas. Okay, and then you have the tribe of Issachar, the Aztecs. Aztecs, people of Mexico, dying of smallpox introduced by the Spaniards. Proven, man. When it's so. All right, let me just grab the scripture. Let me just grab the scripture because the Bible explains it better than I do, as always. This is Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, which the wine means different philosophies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. See, and he doesn't keep at home because Christopher Colombo and the Spaniards had to leave their home, Europe, to come over here to the Americas and did what they had to do. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and as death. And there is death, man. Okay? Because when it came over here to the Americas, all right, and different islands, they what came with them? Death. Okay? Death came. I always lose the article. Slack, yeah. Oh, here we go. Epidemics soon became a common consequence of contact. In April 1520, Spanish forces landed in what is now Veracruz, Mexico, unwittingly bringing along an African slave infected with smallpox, which was probably Israelites. 2 months later, Spanish troops entered the capital of the Aztecs Empire, Tenochtitlan, shown above, and by mid-October, the virus was sweeping through the city. You see, and the virus was sweeping through the city, depicted above in images from the Florentine Codex, a document written by a 16th century Spanish friar, killing nearly half of the population, which scholars today estimate at 50,000 to 300,000 people. The dead included the Aztecs ruler Quetzalcoatl and many of the senior advisors. By the time Hernan Cortez and his troops began their final assault on the Tenochtitlan, bodies lay scattered over the city, allowing the small Spanish force to overwhelm the shocked defenders. Okay, so we have here exclusive curses we have curses that are exclusive to the Northern Kingdom, and I'm gonna bring it out real soon. Let's see, trying to see if there's any more in this. All right. All right, yeah. So that's it on that. Okay, that's it on that. Now this is about the Taino Indians, okay, which are the Puerto Ricans. Now the article I read was that included everybody of Americas because because the North American Indians caught diseases. You just saw the Aztecs, Tainos, the Mayans, all of them. Okay. Uh, Now here we go. The Taino Indians, which is the tribe of Ephraim, Native Americans of the Caribbean, and I want to go. Sluggy. I'm just trying to find a point. All right, I'm gonna just start right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start right here. It says theirs was a beautiful culture. No, I'm gonna start right here. It says it says in 1492, the Italian explorer Christopher Columbus. He wasn't Italian either. He was Spanish. Christopher Columbus was loaned 3 small old ships from King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain for a questionable voyage across the sea in which he hoped to reach India or China. Although Marco Polo has sailed around the world 300 years later and the Norsemen 500 years later, there were few sailors willing to sail into the unknown. So the king and queen released some prisoners early to accompany Columbus on the voyage. On October 12, 1492, after 2 months at sea, Columbus and his crew finally spotted land. Upon reaching the land, Columbus fell to his knees, thanked God for a safe voyage, and planted a flag in the ground, claiming the land for Spain. You see, why would he claim the land for Spain if he was Italian? As the Tainos who lived there for 1,000 years watched from behind trees and bushes. It says the Taino had never before seen white men, clothed people with beards or ships like that. Proving you that our people would discontinue from their heritage. Okay, because 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 I'm pretty sure, 100% sure that they seen Esau before. Okay, the children of Esau have seen Esau before. So so our people just forgot about everything, man. Okay, that goes in with Jeremiah 17:4, man. Okay, it says people with beards or ships like that. They thought these people must be from heaven. So the Taino came out to greet them as their custom and brought the travelers, who surely must have been tired and hungry, food, drinks, and gifts. Such strong swimmers were the Taino that some of them swam right out to the boats, some 3 miles offshore. The very first night, Columbus wrote in his journal that these islands were very heavily populated by handsome, strong, well-built, and peaceful people who had only simple weapons, and that with as few as 50 of his men and their weapons, he could take over. See, and that goes into Psalms 50. Is it Psalms 50 and 21? Salakia. Oh, Psalms 55 and 21. See, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Now back to it. It says, let's see. Okay. Much is said about Columbus' desire to convert the savages to Christianity. See? Columbus called them savages. But very little was said about his quest for gold. Although Columbus mentions gold in his journal 70 times, in his first 2 weeks in the island. See, in the first 2 weeks. So he was there searching for gold. The very first day, Columbus took several native boys brought his ships to show him where the gold was. He probably did more than they probably freaked them off, man. Because so-called white men is profane. Columbus spent the next 2 months looking for gold. Just when he was about to return to Spain on Christmas Eve, his ship, the Santa Maria, ran around and sank. The Taino people helped him to retrieve every salvageable item. A problem arose in that now all the sailors who had accompanied Columbus could not fit on the two remaining and smaller ships. So a fort was built using the salvaged wood from the Santa Maria, and 39 men were left behind at a Fort Columbus called La Navidad. Shortly thereafter, Columbus set sail for Spain, taking some of the natives and birds, foods, and plants to show the king and queen. Columbus was received in a manner never before, and his stories of the New World were listened to with awe. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella immediately gave Columbus 17 large ships. Let me skip some of this. Okay. Let's see. Upon arrival at La Navidad in the second voyage, Columbus found the fort burned to the ground, and all 39 of the men he had left behind had been killed. It seemed the sailors left behind had misbehaved, as our history books tell it, but their misbehaving wasn't often in the form of rape of the local women and children and theft of anything they saw that they wanted. Okay? Which I said earlier, that they were raping the women, and the prophecy said it as well. It says, Hosea 7:1, when I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, the northern kingdom, and this is talking about the tribe of Ephraim in the article that I'm reading, and the wickedness of Samaria, which is dealing with the whole entire northern kingdom. They commit falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoileth without. You see? That goes hand in hand with the prophecies. So I don't see how you people say that the people of the northern kingdom, our brothers, are not our people. You people, just don't understand the Bible clearly. It's like I'm trying to see where I left off at. Okay, so they misbehaved, quote unquote, and that misbehavior was often in the form of rape of the local women. So they raped our women and children and anything they saw that they wanted. Let's see. It says Columbus right here. Columbus vowed to find K. Onabo and retaliate. So this devil wanted revenge. From that point on, life as the Taino knew it ended. And people always say, that these people, the Aztecs or the Mayans are extinct, or the Tainos are extinct, but they're not extinct. They're still here. Columbus forced all of them over the age of 14 to work in the gold mines, searching for gold for the Spaniards. Those who refused were killed. Those who did not make their quota of gold had their hands cut off, and they were left to bleed to death. Taino women were given to Spaniards to do whatever they wished. You see? Taino women were given to Spaniards to do with whatever they wished, letting you know that there is a distinction between the Taino Indians and the Spaniards. So they're not the same people. The fields unattended failed to yield enough food for the Taino, and the Spaniards whose supply had run out all were hungry. Many Tainos starved to death. Others were worked to death. They were beaten, tortured, raped, enslaved, and murdered. How dare you people say that they're not our people, man, and that they didn't go through the curses? How dare you people say that, man? Columbus and K Cannibal, they tricked him in order to capture him, and he was put on a ship that was sent to Spain and was never heard from again. Um, let's see. Do this. Over 250 of the Taino died en route to Spain, and their bodies were tossed overboard. Same thing. Same thing. What the Judites went through, man. And this really struck me, man, when I was reading this. When I was reading this a couple days before today. You see, they were beaten, tortured, raped, and enslaved and murdered, man. You see, they were going through the curses as well, man. When Columbus returned for the third time, not much had changed. There was still little gold. The colonists brutally forced the Taino to look for it. The food shortages were so severe, it was said that the Spaniards fed Taino babies to their dogs. The mood among the Taino was one of complete and utter helplessness and desperation. Some took their own lives to escape the brutalities and 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 indignities. The colonists failing to get rich quick as they had hoped, threatened to revolt against Columbus. Word got back to the king. All right, blah blah blah. That's not important. Um. So also it says the people there, once proud and strong, were reduced from estimated 8 million. That's what I read in the other article, letting you know that these things are true, to 60,000 in 10 years time. Look at that, man. There were 8 million of them, and then were reduced to 60,000, which is a curse in the Bible, which I am going to get. Okay. Now this is a book called The American Holocaust. Okay, it's basically telling you the same thing. Okay, telling you the same exact thing that Christopher Columbus and his devil friends did. The same exact thing. They brought over here diseases and whatnot. Wow. I was going to a point, but as I was reading, as I was skimming through, look what I just saw, man. Um, and that it is precisely what happened in community after community. Almost everyone was killed. There were, of course, exceptions, but overall, in central Mexico, the population fell by almost 95% within 75 years following the Europeans' first appearance. From 25 million people in 1519 to barely 1,300 million in 1595. And central Mexico was typical, even using moderate estimates of the pre-1492 population. In the southeastern Mexico, the number of inhabitants dropped from 1,700 million to less than 240,000 in a century and a half in northern Mexico. Over a somewhat longer period, the native population fell from more than 2,500 million to less than 320,000. See, look at that, man. And people say that they don't, and they weren't going through the curses. Which is a damn shame. If you would just do history, if you would just read up on history, you would see. There was a page that I needed. I think it was this right here. By the 16th century had ended, perhaps 200,000 Spaniards had moved their lives to the Indies, to Mexico, to Central America, and points further to the south. In contrast, by that time, somewhere between 60 million and 80 million natives from those islands were dead. Even then, the carnage was not over. See, look at that, man. All right, but let me go into these curses. All right. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put of a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Remember that I read that the food supplies ran out, and the Taino Indians were serving their enemies. What were they doing? Trying to find gold, man. Okay. Verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle lieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And the Aztecs, Mayans, Native and Seminole Indians, the Tainos, they weren't speaking Spanish. They were speaking Hebrew, man. Okay? And it says, as swift as the eagle flieth. If you don't know, Spain, their flag has the eagle on there. You see? Oh, Salakia. What are the symbols of Spain? Animal, bull, bird, short-toed eagle. You see? The eagle. See, look at that, man. That's the bird, man. The black eagle. See? Same with ancient Rome. They had the eagle was named Aquila, and same with ancient Greece. Name was Etios Dios, and same with America. You see that? That's clear and cut. Okay. Now I'm gonna jump to verse 59. It says, the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long countenance, and sore sickness, and of long countenance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. And did not I read about that? I'll probably exit it out. But did not I read that Columbus brought great plagues and diseases to the New World? Didn't I? You see? Clear cut, man. And let me go into the word plagues real fast, because I did go into it, and I think it did mean something. Here we go. Slaughter, beating, scourging, slaughter, wound, defeat, conquest. Didn't that happen to the Northern Kingdom brothers that I just read? You see? And they're not going through the curses like how black people. Man, you're cut, man. Okay? You're cut. You're cut. Verse 61. And also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law. I read smallpox. That's not written in the Bible. I read influenza. That's not written in the Bible. Epidemics. Okay? All other diseases that were not written in the Bible. Then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And they died from those diseases. They were destroyed from those diseases. Let me go into the word destroyed. You see? To destroy, exterminate, be destroyed, be exterminated, be devastated, annihilate. You see? You got people saying that the Tainos and the Aztecs and Mayans are extinct, man. Because of the dreadful plagues and diseases that were brought over here to America. You see? Verse 62. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of the heaven of the multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy power. So, I'm not laughing because this is funny. Laughing because how the statements that some of you people say is idiotic, man. They don't go through the curses. It says that they shall be left few in number. I literally just read that the Taino Indians were left few in number. The Aztecs, the Mayans, they were left few in numbers. You see that? You see that, man? So yes, our Northern Kingdom brothers were going through the curses, okay? They went through the curses and they still are going through the curses. They're still going through the curses over there in Puerto Rico, trying to seek aid from the United States. Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You see? Now they're worshiping Caesar Borgia. Okay? And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. All right. So I just proved that they were going through the curses. Now let me go to the book of Leviticus now. Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Leviticus 26, verse 20. It says, and your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield her increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. Now I read that that their farming were left untended, so they ran out of food. So they ran out of food supply, man. Okay, so that go with that scripture, man. Okay. Verse 22. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children and destroy your cattle, and make you few in number, and your highways shall be desolate. That goes with hand in hand with what I just read. You see? So you people are just proving, man, and you people are cutting, man, that the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, Argentinians, Cubans, the people of Peru, Brazil are definitely our people, man. And it says, and I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send a pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. Verse 28. Then I will walk contrary unto you, also in fury, and I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. And that's what the Most High God Yahweh did, man. The Most High did that. All right. Now let me go back to Deuteronomy 28. Because I forgot a curse in there. Okay, I'm pretty sure they were doing this 100%. Deuteronomy 20 verse 30, because they did take women, and them women was married, was probably married to them, to our Aztecs or Taino Indians or Mayan brothers. Deuteronomy 20 verse 30, it says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. You see? Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. See? That goes hand in hand with what I just read, all right? So I just proved historically, archaeology, okay, biblically as well, that that are people that are in Salakia, that the people of the Northern Kingdom are definitely our brothers, man. So called Aztecs, Mayans, Taino Indians, so on and so forth. All right, you are the children of Israel. All right, no matter what anybody say, no matter what any of these dummies say. All right, but Lord willing, a few brothers, a few sisters were edified. Okay, I just want to say, call halal Yahweh Bashim Hashai, Yahweh Bashim Hashai Brakathum, and Quam Yasharala, man. Quam Zebulon, Quam Ephraim, Quam Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar, all right? But with that being said, Shalom.